Double on that.
We're starting soon. Hey, we're starting soon. Guess what? I said we're starting soon. No one's even watching yet. We are starting momentarily. I'm going to send out a tweet. Oh, hey, Ben. It's always the first one here. Welcome to the Hooniverse Podcast. You can start it now.
This is Jeff when he doesn't drink.
I know.
All right. Man. And we're live.
Oh, hey. What's up?
Hey.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Hooniverse episode 263. Hooniverse Podcast episode 263. I want to pause that one so I don't have to look at that screen. Welcome. We have a guest here. You can see him.
We're all going to pretend right now like we haven't been together for the last 20 minutes.
At least 20 minutes.
Hey, man. Welcome. Thanks for walking in.
Am I the first guest on this new video podcast?
Yes.
I'm the worst guest you could ever have.
I know, 100%.
It's
not really.
Well, that's a great start to
100% totally agree. Everybody, this is Josh Ostrander, because not everybody can. Some people will listen to this audio-atorily.
True.
Which is a total correct term.
I think you made that up.
And this is once again a day of differing sized chairs.
Yeah.
So we're all. Yeah, actually, Josh is just really tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the taller side. 6-ish and some change.
There you go. So I don't know why that stopped, but no, that's just the live thing. So I don't need that. I'm just making sure I can see the chat still scrolling through, but I don't need that because we're not doing a rundown tonight. We have a guest. We're doing it that way.
We're doing it live?
We'll do it live.
All right.
Josh, you recently covered Grid Life.
I did.
Tell us all about it.
Grid Life was cray-cray. No. Grid Life is... You can't really describe Grid Life in like normal words. Like you can break it down to what it is, which is like time attack drifting during the day, and then at night it's a music festival.
It's the general feel of Grid Life is where like a solid half of the people go like, I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Not half, but a fair amount.
Yeah.
There's a fair amount.
A lot of people don't understand the irony of how they're behaving.
Yeah.
So what did you see? Tell us about it.
I saw full course drifting on Road Atlanta, and I spent a lot of time watching time attack.
It's a big track to drift.
It's a big
How big is
track.
Road Atlanta?
3-something miles?
That's huge.
That sounds wrong.
It's not a small track.
So full course drifting, that's pretty awesome. And this is all the pro guys there.
2.5 miles, sorry.
Okay. This is all the pro guys there.
Yeah. No, not even just the pro. The pros to AMs were outweighed. So there was probably 8 pro guys and 30 to 40 AM guys shredding even harder.
Like top tier amateurs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know who they all were, but there was some.
They compete.
Some of them do.
It's not like Johnny and his broken 240 showed up.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But is there a section where like I am Johnny and I'm broken 240, can I go out and drift?
Yeah, they separate everything into groups. So I'm not positive exactly how they separated. Nick Swan will be able to tell you that.
Well, to be fair, Johnny and his broken 240 is probably not really any worse off than most of the guys. All drift cars are constantly broken.
There was a guy in a stock NB Miata. Maybe full, at least, I think just exhaust on it. Maybe some suspension bolt-ons.
Yeah.
Was ripping harder than anybody there.
Nice.
For sure, he deserved like any award that was given out.
Well, because he can do the course in like 5th gear, just fling the thing around.
Yeah, it was
No,
through the
that's
keyhole.
impressive.
It was
and then
ridiculous.
replace the tires, you just got to go to a grocery store, steal the wheels off
a shopping cart.
a shopping cart, and you're good.
So what else was there besides drifting?
Bunch of time attack, bunch of HDPD, which isn't really interesting to watch because it's just like students learning how to drive, which nothing wrong with that. But I'd rather see a Mustang GT350 compete with an STI with a couch as a wing on the back through one turn 7 times in a row, which was like the best experience of my life.
Couch or park bench?
But could have been both.
Okay.
What was your favorite car there?
There was I have a better answer to that. There was a group of 86s, so BRZs and the FRSs, on one part of pit lane, and right adjacent from them was a set of 3 S2000s,
Okay.
And you could tell they didn't like each other.
Oh.
Like, you could tell. Like, there were never words exchanged, but that's how you could tell.
So
So
a
is
group of
this
6 people was your favorite car?
That was my favorite.
Is this the Japanese rivalry equivalent of F-Body versus Mustang?
No, because there wasn't any, like, there was more teeth involved, usually. Unless, like, Cousin Mary. But
You told me about one of the cars a couple days ago. There was an RSX.
Oh, yeah, there's a second-gen RSX who broke the front-wheel drive lap record for grid life there. And he was absolutely whipping that thing to a point where I thought he was going to crash every time I saw him. And his car sounded like Killer Hornets.
NA or turbo?
It was NA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You don't see a lot of RSX love out there. That's an interesting car.
I think that's a really good looking car.
Yeah, those
This
are
one
cool.
was not good looking.
No?
It was just made to go fast.
Well, that's cool too, though.
Well,
Just strictly, but
yeah.
fast, and like you can tell he's gone fast and too fast sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's how you learn.
Totally. I was about it.
I actually prefer the RSX look over the Integra look.
Yeah, I agree.
I
The
get
Integra's
it.
got the weird spidery headlight look.
Yeah.
And like the RSX is just very slick.
It is slick. Now, what's it like once the racing stops and the nightlife part happens?
So there's probably like a 30-minute lull. That's just kind of like
Well, that's when everybody's going to go take their Molly.
put the cars. Well, not even that. Just
Yeah.
like put the cars away, grab a hot dog or 12, get a water, and then just depending on what group you're in, like we kind of did the stop racing, wait an hour or two, relax, and then we'll go up to the party.
Yeah.
Grant, I had media passes and VIP and stuff, so it's a little bit different, but it's just exactly what you were thinking in your head is exactly what
It's
it
a
is.
Forza festival in real life.
Exactly.
It's Horizon.
Yes. But in the best way, like
Well, in Horizon, I
no
would
negatives
have to
about it
take
whatsoever.
odd jobs to earn McLaren Sennas, and
Yeah.
so that probably doesn't happen.
No.
But that sounds pretty awesome. Who did you see perform?
Oh, I don't know half these artists. Killer Mike was there. I know that.
Right.
Joyride was there, who's like a English European like house artist. I don't know. I'm not in that music very much.
Yeah.
But like all his music videos are like car based. So like a music video for one of his songs is like just Polish drifting championship highlights.
Well,
Like-
at that rate, it should be like Jamiroquai showing up at some point.
Yeah, right.
Actually, you know what? I wouldn't count that out of the running at a certain point.
He's I don't know if he meshes with that. Like everyone there is a little too young for him, I think.
But that might be
don't
the
know.
appeal, because if you're a guy that's that famous, like that's the kind of a guy that's going to get swamped in Europe, right?
They also might not be able to afford him.
Well, I mean, they had
Yeah.
Waka Flocka Flame show up to Midwest.
Yeah.
He's just
I-
Waka
I-
Flocka now. So
I don't even know what that means.
Well, the thing, so like with Jamiroquai, we know him from a few big hits here in the States, but in Europe he's massive.
So he's like Hasselhoff.
No, because he's from Europe, so
Oh.
it's
No, he's like not Michael Jackson level, but like
no,
Damn close.
But
Bruno Mars level.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
up there. But it'd be interesting to see for sure.
And he's got an amazing car collection.
Yeah, he does.
That's really what I know. Him
He'd
from.
probably rather just attend.
Oh, T-Pain was there too.
Yeah, because Chelsea Denofa was teaching him how to drift.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Okay, so this was in Atlanta. Anybody bring donks?
Not to the track, but I did see my fair share of dogs.
In the parking lots?
No, the parking lot is very enthusiast based. Like a lot of STIs.
Yeah.
Anything that you could want to go fast in, like it's there, and that's not even displayed. That's just what people are driving to the campgrounds.
Yeah.
So like I golf cart through the campgrounds. I don't know 2 or 3 times, and only good stuff was there. GTIs, Mustangs, Corvettes. Like guy had an Aston Martin he was camping out of. Like yeah.
Alright.
I have an automotive confession. I love donks.
No, I love them too.
I think they're hilarious.
I love the ridiculous ones, like the donk that is the M&M's livery.
Yeah.
All about that.
Well, I
the
love
Oreo
that or
livery.
there's like McDonald's or
All-
Hello
I-
Kitty.
Here's
all
the
about
thing:
it.
is I lived amongst them when I lived in South Florida.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that's like the South Florida equivalent of a brodozer.
Yeah.
And
But
at
see,
a
the
certain
thing with
point
them,
there, you look at the most of them are just hazards.
yeah.
And like I can appreciate when it's really well done, like a really, really well done lowrider that somebody's busted their ass on for 5 years.
Right.
Like it's not my thing, but I can look at that and go, "That's impressive."
See, it's funny because you look at that car and you go, "Oh, that's silly," and then somebody might say, "Like, well, why don't you like Stance?" I'm like, "Well, Stance is just dangerously broken, where at least like a donk is functional. You ever see the photo of the one driving through floodwaters? I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
That is the only proper and correct reason to have that car. Other than, I get it. People love them, but like that's hilarious.
It's fantastic. So then, how many days or nights is Grid Life? 2 days, 1 night.
3 days, 2 nights.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
We have not had one out west yet, right?
No, not.
I think it's
right
prohibitively expensive to do it out here.
I'm sure they could find somewhere to do it.
But I guess just the question in being like the tracks that are out here, like where would you want to camp near any of the tracks out here?
No,
Campgrounds can be made anywhere though.
Depends-
Wherever you can park a
depends-
car is where these people were camping.
right. Depends on what time of year, because then I could say you could do Big Willow, because there's plenty of room in between streets and Big, relatively, and there's other land further back where people could use. You can definitely camp at Laguna, but then that's a
No,
that's
there's
never
no
going to
way.
happen
No.
because
They
you
will
remember
noise.
the noise ordinance.
Noise.
Yeah, they won't let you drive to Laguna.
And then what else is there? I mean, you could do Button Willow. It's in the middle of nowhere, but if you're just camping at the track,
yeah,
who
but
gives a shit?
racetracks are all in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Like,
Well, in California they are.
yeah.
But that might.
Yeah, but you actually have lawns at these places.
Oh,
that
you
you're
know
going
what'd be
to the
great?
other-
Yeah, but after like the first day, it's all
Sonoma.
if there's
It's just
Sonoma.
you could do Sonoma, yeah.
that would be good.
And it's just, I love it because you're in Sonoma. And Sonoma's just awesome.
Or is all
You
the
guys
local-
go enjoy your rap
gonna
and
go-
rock and roll music. I'm going wine tasting, my friends.
Well, you're forgetting that you got all the local riffraff there, like all the kids in the slow coma. You know?
yeah. No, I Sonoma would be pretty sweet, but it, I don't know. That'd be a fun thing to consider where.
I guess you could probably do something up in like Oregon too.
Well, yeah, Oregon, Washington would be
But
fun. Like Park.
I
smaller,
selfishly
but
want
Park's
it
good.
down here.
Yeah.
But, right,
Evergreen
I don't really
would be
know.
cool.
I don't know. That
Evergreen Speedway
one. Oh.
in Washington.
And then it'd be cool to tailor the music. Do they tailor the music to the location?
Yes.
So when they're in the Midwest, what do they play?
That was a lot of it's like house, EDM, dubstep kind of stuff, which I'm not really into.
Right.
So it all kind of sounds the same to me, as much as I hate saying that. But like, so they're in the South, so Killer Mike comes out.
Right.
Okay. So they're
Well, that's his town.
exactly. So T-Pain comes out. They're in Midwest, and Waka Flocka happening to be performing in Detroit that night. So a lot of it came from that.
Okay.
So stuff like that. So Chris Stewart, who's the guy who owns it, founds it, runs it, whatever he wants to say it is, he's very resourceful at pulling stuff weekend of. So that's actually really cool too, because you're like, oh, T-Pain's here? I didn't know he was going to be here. He's right there.
Fun. Interesting. Now, and Radwood was going on too.
Yeah, Radwood was rad. There's a lot of cool stuff there. There was an R34 non-GTR, stock everything.
Huh.
Like stock ride height, almost to the point where it looked ridiculous, but it was just cool to see.
That's, non-GTR.
Yeah.
So there's that.
No
So
wing
GTS, right?
I think it's a GTS or GTST. I'm not
I love
really
those
sure.
cars in the sedan body.
Yeah, they're big bodies.
Yeah.
That's a pretty sweet ride. Now, so it was Radwood, it was drifting, it was Grid Life. Pharaoh was there doing some stuff, setting laps in the Trackhawk, which is cool. It seems like a pretty awesome event. I got to get out. Oh, I think our guy Greg Cachadurian might have been there.
He was there. We were supposed to get dinner. Couldn't make it happen. But my bad. Sorry, Greg.
And then our man Bradley was there, obviously, with
Hung out with Brad a couple times, yeah.
Radwood, so that's great. And then they're moving on. They're doing Radwood Philly now.
Radwood Philly. Yeah, Radwood Philly.
Which is crazy. They're
It's
blowing them out.
It is. I wish I could go to these things, but unfortunately, like regular gig and everything during the week.
Well, they'll be back to LA soon, though.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and that one was a lot of fun. Now, what's going on with you in your car life right now? How's the so if anybody doesn't know, Josh drives a Volkswagen Golf all-track wagon in a nice shade of red.
Actually, the last time you were on the show, you had just acquired it.
Oh,
Probably.
That day.
You guys are VAG brothers.
Bag Brothers.
Oh yes.
So how's the wagon?
It's still boring, which is exactly like what it's supposed to be.
I forgot I was in the VAG family now.
You're in the VAG family.
Big old Vag.
It looks good. You haven't done wheels yet.
No, I was going to put a set of wheels on it, and then I found out what my company's doing for 2018. I said, I'm waiting.
Now, speaking of your company and what they're doing, do you want to talk about SEMA at all?
I mean, if you have a SEMA car and you need wheels, please email me.
This is
What
your-
if I just
Josh-
need wheels?
You can still email me, Chris. I'll still help you out.
So tell everybody what you mean by if you have a SEMA car.
Yeah. So
what are you looking for?
If you're building any car for SEMA, JDM, American Truck, anything that will be going to SEMA, send me an email, josh@wheelpros.com. If you need wheels, email me. I'll get you set up. And that's really about it.
Yeah, well, and SEMA, the clock is starting to tick, too.
Oh, no. The clock was ticking 6 months ago.
Yeah. Click, sooner rather than later, please. Because, I'm in the middle of all the SEMA planning, too. Hotels and then flights for employees and, shit like that.
Sounds terrible.
It is.
Now, I'm jumping a little bit early just because we didn't do the news because we wanted to cover some of the grid life stuff. And we're going to get your SEMA peeps out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to jump over to some Patreon questions.
Okay.
To kick off the night. Or do you want to talk about that? We can talk about that.
Whatever you want.
No, you know what? We should talk about that because we talked about it before. So, Chris, you can pull this up.
Yep.
So we talked about this last week. This BMW, the estimate was 160 to 180, and it hit 176. So this is the 2002
ridiculous
BMW M5 with 437 miles.
Does this make sense to either of you in any
No.
world?
No.
None.
Okay. It's not that good.
Who bought this and who's the guy?
There was also a W124 era 500 CE, which is a very cool car because it has an engine that was built in partnership with Porsche. They didn't make a lot of them, but still, it had 14,000 miles. It was immaculate, but I still don't think it was $100,000.
I believe this kind of money will easily buy you a 997 GT3 RS. So if you bought this instead of that, you're dumb.
What if it's a collection, though?
Maybe.
What if he needs this one to add to his low mileage M5s? Is that? I'm not saying
if he has all of them.
Yeah. What if this is the one he's missing?
I don't know.
I mean, it's probably, it might actually be the most iconic M5.
Click
but
back to us.
Yeah.
It's
why? Because it was in transport.
No, that was the wrong button.
The car's cool, but it's not $176,000.
No,
cool.
not
That's
even remotely.
Absolutely bananas. So jumping over to Patreon questions now. First up, we have a question from Bobby Reed. Now that you're a truck guy, do you have any opinions on truck tires? I bought a 2017 F-150 last year to tow horse and race cars and use the truck and my 944 as daily drivers. I'm kind of a tire nerd when it comes to cars for sports cars, but I don't know the first thing about truck tires.
I think I can speak for the three of us when we all say we endorse truck tires.
Why?
They're good.
They're good, and they help you roll.
Yeah, but we don't know which brands.
That's my point. Is we endorse truck tires.
Got it.
In general,
from my understanding,
I need coffee. I would just stick with BFG probably and stay within that family.
It's one of those things where I don't know enough about it.
Right.
I'd have to assume that for the most part, the good quality brands that we want for performance car tires is probably going to crank out some pretty awesome stuff on that front too.
Yeah. Just don't buy the cheapest one. You don't need the most expensive one. Especially if you're towing, there's got to be some forum out there where people swear by certain tires for towing. I'm sure, and I would just go that route. But
yeah,
like you
those
said,
are going to be as much as I know about those. Those are going to be completely different characteristics than like an off-road tire because they're going to be like a hard compound. They're going to hold up for a lot of miles and like different casing on them and everything to hold the weight.
Gotta figure out the sipes. You gotta really figure out the sipes.
The sipes?
Sipes.
All right.
What's a sipe?
It's the tread cut into it is a sipe.
It's
that's the term for it?
Yeah.
Sipe?
Sipe.
Yeah, it's adjacent to the Merkin and the Flumel.
And the Flumel. I know the Merkin. Yeah.
It's a sipe though.
And the Flumelgats.
I'm on board.
Ryan Morris asks, what car screams I am super wealthy to the initiates but blends in to the general public? Maybe a Land Cruiser? Land Cruiser is actually a great answer if it's a brand new Land Cruiser.
TTRS.
No.
Yes.
No, it's a sports car.
Yeah, but it's a TT.
It also doesn't scream super wealthy.
No.
How much is it?
Under 100. Less than a Land Cruiser.
It's 90 Gs, right?
Let me get you to lean back just a little bit.
No.
A
TTRS is, it's 70 something.
No.
So it needs to be inconspicuous, but it's super, super wealthy car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's E63 wagon also.
Yeah.
And
I'd say a lot of the Bentley stuff flies under the radar for most people.
It's a Bentley.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Bentley has the opposite effect. You can get a used Bentley for not much. People are like, oh, that guy's a billionaire.
Yeah.
So like that's why I think Land Cruiser is the perfect answer. It's $100,000.
Yeah, you know what else
looks like a truck.
feels that? Like an RS7. RS7s ain't cheap.
Yeah, they're not cheap. But see, now that's still getting into like sleek Audi. And some people might be like, oh.
What about, I don't know.
Because that kind of goes against my other answer was going to be CL600.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, that's a nice enough Mercedes. Those things are well over two.
What about like an A8 as well? A8s are up there.
A8s.
And those
A8
are pretty
more
incognito.
More so than an RS7.
Yeah.
I think. But
I think people know the 7 Series a little too much.
Yeah.
But what if you debadge? Like, a lot of the German cars, you have the option of debadging from the factory.
Right.
Which is the thing to do if you've got a shit ton of money and you live in Europe.
Right.
Whereas everybody here puts the more expensive badge on their car because they're like, I want to pretend I got an AMG.
Yes. No, but I mean, I think they kind of nailed it with that first answer. But then I also know that of Mercedes, this is a stat they like touting, of everybody who buys their car, their most affluent customer drives an E-Class wagon.
So this dude wants an expensive car that doesn't look expensive?
No, he wants to know what car screams super wealthy to people who know what it is, but to the general public,
those King Ranch trucks.
King Ranch trucks?
Yeah.
Those
any of the high-end,
right? Yeah.
Any of the big three's high-end trucks. You know, Range Rovers kind of fly under the radar, too.
It's still a Range Rover, though. People look at it and go, that's a Range Rover.
You know what else is super expensive, but most people don't know it's super expensive? CTSV.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, between 100 and 120 on those.
Yeah.
And most people are like, oh, I can buy that car for $35,000.
Yeah. Ryan Kelly asks, actually, he was just telling me about a koozie that I asked him about, so that is not a question.
That's the bike guy, right?
Yep.
Ryan Kelly, bike guy.
Dan Mosqueda, what's the fastest you've driven a car or vehicle?
192.
Damn, that's fast. Josh hit like 72 the other day.
I hit 192 in my vet with Zach on...
Allegedly.
No. It was Dry Lake Bed.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the one up here? I can't
El Mirage?
Yeah, El Mirage. Yeah.
That's fucking fast. How was it on the lake bed at that speed?
Little floaty in the back. But I had more front downforce than I had rear at the time, so it's probably not as bad now. It's a little more balanced.
Josh?
150, 60 in a GTR.
That's fast. 175. Yeah. 192 is the king of the table.
It sounds like I walked away from that.
Good, sir.
At a good pace. C6 is...
Yeah,
gearing is
good pace.
The gearing is tall.
Yeah, at El Mirage, I was in the S7, and it's limited to 155, but it got there and it would just sit there. Which is kind of nice.
And you guys may have actually seen it. It was I did it in the video where it was the second gen CTSV, and Matt and I raced those cars.
Oh, really?
He called OnStar in the middle of the drive.
Yes.
And he couldn't see the speedometer with OnStar on.
Yeah.
Got it.
Wow. Interesting. Craig on McBride asks, is German engineering the greatest marketing ploy of all time? I see an awful lot of complaining from owners of Audis and BMWs about reliability issues. Or does Porsche's reliability make this statement a wash? I think there used to be more credence lent to it. I think Mercedes lasts for 500,000 miles.
In comparison, like when they were making those claims back in the 80s and the 90s,
right,
it was true because the American car companies were in the shitter.
Right.
Yeah,
but by comparison, like if you want a reliable car now, you buy American or Japanese.
Or Korean.
Not as much as it used to be. A lot of the Hyundais and the Kias with their 4-cylinders have been having a lot of engine failures. It's the Elantra in particular, from what I understand, it suffers a lot of engine failures now.
Oh. We drove here in a Korean car.
Did you?
Yes.
What'd you drive in?
Veloster.
Oh, the
Veloster.
Which one?
R-Spec.
The R-Spec.
The N-Spec's not ready to play yet.
Okay.
Their Hyundai, though, is going to do a US, because they did the event that Fensky went to in Germany, that a bunch of other journalists went to. They're doing a US-based one at Thunderhill.
That'll be cool.
Which is great, because I haven't driven Thunderhill in years.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
And that whole division is being run by the guy that used to run the M division at BMW, right?
Yes. But he also does stuff for Kia, too.
Okay.
Albert Biermann. I think it's the same guy doing both.
Well, it would make sense because they're sharing chassis now.
Right.
I love the idea of the G70, and it was in the running for like cars I might replace the Fiesta with.
Right.
But it's like I want their M-Class level car. I don't want their 335, 340 level car, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe next year, hopefully.
Maybe. Somebody wanted to know if you finally got rid of the Fiesta, and no, you haven't?
No, not quite. I spent this weekend just kind of tying up loose ends. It will probably go on sale later this week.
Right. Okay.
And Dan Mosqueda, I also owe you an email about electronic stuff we were talking about.
Moving to Twitter for questions, Patrick Montgomery asked, if you could own one weird 80s or 90s niche car, what would it be? So like some weirdo shit.
How niche does
like
niche
a
have to
Bricklin
be?
or something.
You
I don't know. You answer, and we'll tell you how niche it is.
You know what is fun?
So if you say like a ZR1, like
No. It's fun because nobody knows about them. I think it was the 20th or 25th anniversary Firebird Turbo Trans Am. It was the Grand National motor, but shoved in a Trans Am.
Interesting.
Trans Am body. Third gen Firebird, and they're supposed to be fast as fuck, actually.
Huh. Interesting. I had an answer for this, and I totally fucking forgot it.
Does a Samurai count?
Sure, you can have a
Samurais
Samurai.
are awesome.
That would be cool.
You can have a Samurai.
I'd love to, if I had like
a
a little like piece of farmland or something with some trails, I'd have a Samurai.
Suzuki XP90.
I don't even know what that is.
It's Samurai-esque.
Oh, okay.
But like rounder with different body panels.
Oh,
that
I
come
know
off.
which one that is.
Yeah.
The thing that doesn't look like it should be.
Yeah. It looks like...
I strangely
looks
kind of like it.
If Barbie has her Jeep, this would be Ken's Jeep.
Yeah. For some weird reason, I kind of find it amusing and kind of like it.
Yeah. No, it'd be funny to like butch one up with like beadlocks and KO2s or something.
It'd probably be decent. It's tiny, so
right,
it'd be good
it
off-road.
weighs nothing.
Yeah.
Untitled Car Show asks, worst type of dog to drive with? I would go with anyone that's loud. Because my first answer was going to be big, but big dogs are funny because they stick their heads way out the window. And
they tend to be a little more chill. Little dogs that always want to jump in your lap, those are the worst.
Yeah, my little dog stays in the back seat though, which is good.
Your dogs are pretty relaxed, though.
Well, one dog.
Oh, sorry.
So the yes, they just stay back there. One would do it out of fear because he's like, "Fuck, are we going?" And then the other one's like, "I'm just gonna look out the window a little bit." But I'm also a hardcore staunch. There's no excuse for your dog to be in the front.
No,
if you only have a
agree with that.
two-seater, then passenger seat on the floor or whatever, but never on your lap. Anytime I see a little dog, and you notice that people are like, "Oh my
It's
god, I
dangerous.
love my dog so much!" Like,
And then the airbag
you don't.
blows
It's dangerous.
Blows little fifi.
With those
blood
people that
bits.
have those dogs, I hope the airbag goes off and just snaps their dog's neck right in their face.
That's what's going to
That's
happen.
gruesome as fuck.
Layers at Layers. Which car would you wish on your worst enemy? Nissan Versa.
No.
I hate the Nissan Versa.
You know what? The Nissan Versa, it's bland, but the Nissan
Well,
Versa, it should just be advertised, Nissan Versa, a car.
That's exactly what
It's
it
the
is.
car that got me fired from Autoblog.
Is it?
Oh, do tell.
I mean, it's a story that's been out there for a while, but I had multiple hats at Autoblog. I was a freelancer who wasn't allowed to freelance for other outlets. So you had to find other ways to make money, and they didn't pay a lot of money. Not that this was their fault for that. So I got a job doing some marketing for a company for some like Nissan Versa promotion involving Britney Spears. And then I pitched the story to a few other outlets, and somehow one of those people. But then I wrote about the story on Autoblog, so there became a conflict of interest, and I didn't really know what that was.
Oh.
I'm not a
And
journalist.
this
I
is
didn't go to
how,
journalism school.
This is how old? I mean, what, 10 years ago?
Oh, not quite 10 years ago, but
Yeah.
like we're getting up there. That's how fucking old I am now. And Jalopnik ran a story about it, and Autoblog.
Yeah,
had
there
to
was a
let me
little
go.
friction there with you and a certain friend
A
of
little
ours
bit,
over
yeah,
there.
there was, but that's all made
it's
up now.
long
So
sorted,
ever
yeah.
since then, within Hooniverse, like in our Slack channels and all this stuff, whenever we jokingly say someone is fired, we say like, "Here's your Nissan Versa."
That's the worst joke I've ever heard.
Yeah, but it's great.
That's bad. My work's like, should I get a box?
Right.
Like that makes sense.
So, what car would you wish on your worst enemy?
I don't know,
You
Chris.
guys?
I gotta think about this for a second.
I'm thinking something that requires countless work. Oh.
Something British.
No. W8 Volkswagen.
That's a good answer because they think it's going to be awesome and it's never going to run.
Yeah, John Klein. I love the man to death. He's a dumb man for buying that car.
I didn't know he bought one.
Oh, he had one.
He bought it. Oh, he had one.
He had one.
Okay.
He wrote about it. It cost him a fortune.
I would say whatever Audi you and your wife used to have. That A4.
B5.
But you had like an early B5, right?
No, we had a later B5.
Oh, because I had a later one too.
We had a 99 and a half.
I had an Avant. Mine was perfect until I smashed.
But which engine?
1.8.
Oh, we had the 1.8.
Audis are.
Maybe if you had the wagon like a real man, you would have been fine.
My friend Derek on Twitter is asking me which quarterback I'll be starting in DraftKings this weekend because he's in charge of the league, and I think I was going to go with Russell Wilson. And then my other friend from high school, I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast before, but I'm not afraid to answer this question. He asked, what's your position on mail tramp stamps? Because he knows that I have one.
I believe Jeff's position is top.
And my other friend replied, "Ooh, that's a good question." And I like to call them champ stamps.
Champ. Yeah. You say to it at night, you're like, it's a champ stamp.
So okay,
it's a champ stamp.
Let me extrapolate this out. If you've got a million other tattoos, is that a little more acceptable?
Different. Yeah, but I don't.
But
I have
if
two.
you have two, and your name's Jeff,
right?
Should he get it covered up?
No, I live with it.
No, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot.
You don't need to live with your failures. Like,
I'm okay. I was 18. I'm okay.
I forgot about that.
I'm okay. Yeah. One of these days we'll because we have a video now. We'll show it on screen, but not right now. We're gonna go to the Facebook questions and then jump back into the YouTube chat.
There's a couple ones in the YouTube chat.
AJ Clune on Facebook asks, is the mid-engine Corvette actually going to be called the Corvette? Could they just make the Z06 CR1 mid-engine and leave the standard as Corvette?
Yeah, it's got to be the fucking Vet. I'm so tired of seeing this article rewritten every week. It's not going to be the Corvette. It shouldn't be the Corvette. Corvettes aren't mid-engine. You're retarded.
But do you think it's going to be just Corvette something or just Corvette?
No, I think this is going to be the standard Corvette.
That's
going
to be
forward.
the new standard. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be called the Covfefe.
The Covfefe.
I'm not reading your question.
I think we will hit these standard designations of like Grand Sport and Z06 and ZR1 eventually.
Tommy Loretto asks, has Sloan gotten into the Baby Shark craze? I don't know that. I don't know that one, so she must not have. All she does is watch YouTube toy opening videos, though. Blake Swan, reading reviews on the new BMW M5, and it seems to have so many parameters you need to adjust just to get exhaust crackles that sound less than optimal. Is it fair to say BMW engineers are taking the easy way out from setting up a car properly and passing the onus onto the owner? I mean, tuning-wise and not mechanically. Just so many modes just seem lazy, but I'm open to being wrong.
No. I don't believe so.
I think it's like German thing. It's like more things on build sheet equals better.
Yep. Right.
You know?
Also,
when you spend $100,000 on a car, you want it to be everything you want it to be.
People like techie shit on their cars.
I just spent $100,000 on an M5. I want it to be a little bit quieter. I want it to be a little bit louder. It better be. I think my steering's too heavy.
So long as you can set those modes and like it will legitimately remember everything for whatever set options you have of, you know, driver 1, driver 2, driver 3.
Yeah. Well, I think there's like the M1, M2 buttons on the steering wheel.
There's that too. Niles Rogers, have you watched any automotive anime? And if so, do you like it? P.S. Has Josh lost his mind? I'm not much of an anime guy. I just finished Cowboy Bebop, but that's not automotive anime.
Yeah.
But I think New England wasn't much of a haven for anime. And then also, I think I just missed like the cartoons I watched.
We're just outside the age group, and like you said, New England, like it's a weird little corner of the country where that stuff just wasn't readily accessible when we were younger.
Sports, kid. It's all about sports, kid. No, but I also didn't. I was just missed like Dragon Ball Z. And
I was a little too
Pokemon
old for that.
It never caught on.
Like Power Rangers and all that stuff. We were just a few years too old to get into it.
But like automotive anime, I never watched any.
But then again,
fuck's it called?
You know, we look back at like when we were little kids and like Transformers and Robotech were big.
Transformers is technically almost like that, right? Like the original
Robotech absolutely was.
I like the GoBots too, and then Mask was dope.
I mean, it was not really full anime, but anime light.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's a big guess as close as I would have gone.
Yeah.
Not that I have anything against it.
It's a different world now, too. Like, that stuff just wasn't, like, imported there. You couldn't find that.
Right. And now you can watch it on your watch at lunch or something. Chris Cavalieri, Polar or La Croix? I don't really care for either, but if I had to choose, I go La Croix because of the more flavors.
Fuck all those drinks.
Somebody asked a message question too. I want to get to their message because I don't know why they didn't respond to the where you're supposed to respond when I leave the comment. But
I'm wondering.
I'm going to pull it
I'm
up.
curious as how fast or slow the lag is here between us talking and
why are you looking at it? Oh, okay. Here's the question. Lane Berglund asked, watched Netflix documentary on the Jaguar lightweight E-types from the 60s that they made the continuation serial numbers just a couple years ago. Have you heard of anything like that from another manufacturer? Did Porsche and Ferrari make all the mandatory 50 cars to qualify as a run for Le Mans cars back in the day? Aston Martin just did DB4 GT.
Yeah.
Technically, that Shelby GT350 I drove is a continuation car.
Yes, because there was full licensing on all the parts on that.
And it's made by basically the same fucking people, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And they're using actual K-Code 68 Mustangs for the GT350 or 67, but real K-Code cars. So the VINs are Mustang K-Code VINs.
Oh, from the Venice
The
crew,
Superformance stuff is about as sorted as a factory car back then would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, they're better,
but
that's
like, way more. They're way more sorted. Right?
No, they are.
No, but I mean, just from
EFI
like a manufacturing standpoint.
Okay.
Not like.
But
the running.
But I wonder if we're starting to move too far away though from like what he means, because like the Jag lightweight E-types are Jag.
Oh yeah,
we found some shells.
They're real.
And Aston did their thing, and I
don't think any other automaker is going to lose shells though.
Well, Porsche just did the 993, but it's not road legal.
But then they just do one.
Yeah. But if someone has money and they had other shells, I'm sure, because that car is ungodly expensive.
Yeah.
Who knows? Somebody wrote, let's see it.
The other thing that we're forgetting is all of the cars that come back, like the designs that get recycled and licensed for like South American and Asian markets too.
Yeah.
Like old Volkswagens and stuff
like
that.
Who also did redone. It and it didn't do well? Nissan. When they did that 240Z.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And they had trouble selling the last bit of them.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
They did. They found a run of really clean 240Z shells, or they got the shells and cleaned them up so they were perfect. So these are basically factory brand new 240Zs, like I don't know, 10 years ago or something like that. And they were $25,000, and by the end of the run they were selling for as low as $17,000.
You know what? One that just dawned on me that we were around constantly, we forgot about entirely. The DeLoreans.
But
they were using all factory original parts. They licensed they were the new DeLorean company. It just wasn't the same people assembling.
Right. No, that's true too. A couple questions in the YouTube chat space. What are your thoughts on the GSF? We've done a video on it. You should go watch it. It's a good car. You want one?
No, I don't want to pay that much, but I want one.
Right.
No, they're overpriced.
I want an ISF more than anything.
ISFs are cheap now.
Brand new GSF, yeah.
But I talked to
GSFs are like $70,000-$80,000.
Yeah, they're up there still. But I talked to Ken Gucci, who is a drift driver for Greddy, who has an ISF, and he's like, to get an early one sorted, it's like new diff.
Yeah. You have to go for like the last 2 years of production.
But then you buy like a later one, and the price goes up astronomically.
Yeah, they do.
So for me, it's just not worth it.
Because I was looking at them for a little while.
Yeah.
They was like,
well, then I gotta get a new seat too. Because I've sat in them, I don't fit in that seat at all.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem. You're getting into changing a lot of stuff. But yeah, the early ones are kind of a mess, but the later ones are much better sorted.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, what is the best used $30,000 sports sedan? You can't get an SS for 30, can you?
Not quite.
No. ISF is, speaking of, is in there.
Mercedes E63. Or C60?
30?
No, older C63.
C63.
You can buy a C63 that's like 2 years old, 3 years old for that kind of money. Easy. CarMax sells them all day.
There you go. Somebody asked, Jagwagon versus RS4. We do not get the RS4 Avant here, but if we did, I would say that.
Yeah, but that Jagwagon was a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It was a lot slower than I thought it was going to be, because I was expecting F-Type with 5 doors, because it's the same motor. With
a little bit bigger.
A
little bit bigger, though.
Yeah, but I was still expecting more than it was. But it was still cool.
Right. And then I'm just trying to see. Somebody said DeLoreans are new continuation cars, too. No more sports here in Boston. Yeah. So you like Grid Life. You got thumbs up for Grid Life. That was good. Chris, what's going on with your car stable right now? I don't think we haven't had enough time for more updates, really.
I actually just spent the weekend I talked about like those Chinese parts I got in for retrofitting CarPlay, and I spent the weekend figuring out everything involved with setting that up, and I've got it running in the Macan, and it's working beautifully. it was a lot of effort, and I'm figuring out what it would need to be to take it to market as a product. But it's totally doable, and it looks like factory. But I literally tore the entire dashboard of that car apart over the course of the weekend.
Huh.
I do not,
as
it turns out, working on German cars is as painful as I remember.
Your weekend sucked.
No, I didn't mind it, but like I
got drunk and he fell off a mountain bike, so
scratches and stuff from doing it. But
I did not fall off my mountain bike.
Yeah, you did. You fell.
You had a way worse day than I did.
No, I didn't.
I shredded. Make it up the fucking hill.
Either did you.
Yes, I did.
No, you did. Who are you lying to?
Now
Little bitch.
I lost my train of thought there. I'm shooting my Clarion audio video this week because I finally have time. The holiday killed us. Daughter's daycare was closed, so just didn't have time to get out to the car and do all that stuff. But
yeah.
Now I'm going to shoot it tomorrow or the next day and get that video up on the Tubes of You very soon. I'm looking forward to getting that done. I have to make another visit to OC Car Incorporated to do a little bit of updates on the Wombat, which is always exciting. Give them a little bit more money, which is not as exciting, but it is kind of, because it also means shit's finally happening here. I tried to go the route of like, hey, let's work something out, and then the wagon sits for 4 years. And now it's like, hey, I'll give you money and you make my car. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, things happen much faster that way. Every time I go there, it's nice to see the car and because I know it's like just around the corner. I mean, hell, in my head, I think maybe I can even get this thing drivable by the time SEMA rolls around. Probably not, but I don't know.
What? Last week of October?
Why not?
You
just thrash and get it in there.
What?
No. There is a car show in December that I'm actually honestly
December seems like it's doable,
yeah.
But
there's a car show at Four Sons, so that could be good. Yeah, no,
you should shoot that.
That could be good. But I'm eager to get that done. Now, what we're driving now, you and I drove up in the Hyundai Veloster. This is the R spec, which is the top tier before you get to the N spec or N performance, which is the one we really want to drive. It feels like a value GTI to me.
Yeah, but in a good way.
Yeah, no, I do mean that in a good way, yeah. What does a GTI cost?
I think you're probably going to spend...
You think they're that low?
I thought
they were higher
No,
than
I
that.
think you're going to start at like 25, 26.
We're looking up the price of a new GTI. So this car is pretty loaded, and it's 23. And
that sounds right for
CarPlay,
Hyundai.
Android Auto, upgraded B&M shifter that shifts really well.
It sounded like it shifted well.
201 horsepower, so it's a little down on the GTI. It has Michelin Pilot Sport tires, though.
It does.
Yeah, so it's grippy as fuck. The brakes are fine. The steering is in sport mode. On center, it feels a little odd, which is just kind of a Hyundai thing with their electric power steering. It just feels like it catches for a second, and you're constantly like fighting that dead zone in the center. And then you start to feel like you're going back and forth a little bit, so you can take it out of sport. It does that less. Someone said MSRP on GTI is 26 to 34, so that's the spread. So that means that I wonder what the Veloster N is going to cost then, where that will go in like the GTI versus Veloster. Because the big
my
thing with
guess
the Veloster
is the N would probably start at like 25, 26.
If that's the case, then it's probably going to blow the GTI out of the water. But I can't say that not having driven it. But the thing with the Veloster is it always used to be a car that was an economy car that kind of looked sporty. And now it finally actually is sporty, thanks to Albert Bierman from M Division coming over. I want to drive it on some twisty roads. I haven't done that yet. But it feels very solid, which is really good. It's
unfortunate that the steering, you get that dead spot. Because now there's a hole in the market. Now that the Ford hot hatches are all gone, the steering on those cars, yes, it was electric and there wasn't a ton of road feel, but it was super accurate.
Right.
And the racks were shorter.
Yeah, and you're going to miss that. Nobody else had that nailed down in the front-wheel drive sector yet.
I remember I was listening to an automotive engineer talk about the challenges of tuning electric power steering. One of the big things that was so hard for them was specifically that dead spot in the center. To the way the wheel sweeps past center is a very difficult thing. And with this Hyundai, it's just you feel like you're doing this a lot, and it feels like it's nothing catch. So it's almost like feels like it's
to me. There's only 3 brands that really have that nailed down, and I think that's Ford, GM, and Porsche. Everybody else still feels like they're kind of sorting it out. Like
the to the Dynan M.
The Dynan M2 was good.
The S2, whatever. That was fine.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I take it back. That was good.
No, that one was good. But so far, so good for the Veloster. Haven't shot the video yet. But the car, it's a good car.
But speaking of Ford, holy shit, are they going down the drain fast?
It's crazy. I mean, it's funny, though, because they could literally just stop selling everything and just be like, you know what, fuck it. We're just making Mustangs and F-150s. And then they'd do all right.
Well, the funny thing is like when the new guy took over last year and they just wanted to start gutting everything,
right.
I'm like, I remember calling it on the podcast. I'm like, oh, this is going to kill the company. And lo and behold, what's it doing? They're tanking. And then, of course, the our stupid trade war we have going on right now killed them bringing in the Focus
Access or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, the Focus
All-track.
Which
Focus,
is unfortunate
basically.
because they probably would have sold a fair number of those cars in the Northeast.
Maybe, yeah. I think so. But the Veloster's good, and then that goes away on Friday. I wanted to see if I can remember what I have coming up. What do I have coming up? Oh, I actually have a car that I can't say.
Oh, yeah.
Because the person giving me the car doesn't want me posting about it on social media because they don't want to get a deluge from everybody else being like, oh, I need to schedule that. So like the car's around, but it's quietly around, and I don't have an embargo. So once I'm done shooting it, the video will be up in like a week from now.
They just don't want to get flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
Is it the color that you want it to be?
I'm not telling you.
Just
anything.
yes or no, the color you want it to be.
You don't know what color I want it to be. Don't reply to that. I don't want the one that was like the one that pops.
Oh, because
and
that's the one I like.
Okay, it's not going to be that one.
Oh, man.
So everybody's listening. Actually, good comment here. Worst electric steering, Infiniti Q60. 100% correct.
Oh yeah, Infinity's electric steering has
was
been
the one we had
horrific.
That bad?
Horrific. Yeah, because
Really?
it's drive-by-wire.
Oh,
And
yeah.
They're like, we're going to do this, and we're going to be the leaders on it, and we're going to suck initially.
I remember when that car first came out, and I think Blake brought it to SEMA, and it was abysmal.
It got better. So the crazy thing is, like Q60 Red Sport, awesome engine, mediocre gearbox, good looks, really nice inside, absolutely terrible steering.
Yeah, it's like they're like, what if we made a performance car, but made the steering and transmission shit?
Right, basically what it is.
It didn't want to do burnouts either. I remember that.
Yeah, there was that too.
Didn't better than Julia though.
Yeah,
hey, here's the thing it's got on the Julia is it'll run for more than 100
I
miles
liked
straight.
the Julia.
This
I
guy
genuinely
with Alfa
like
Romeo.
that car.
I love Alphas.
Yeah.
In theory.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he actually is like entertains ideas of
Yes.
used
No.
Alphas.
You know
No, whoa,
There's one
whoa.
used Alpha to
Leasing
buy.
and used.
There's one used Alpha to buy that's actually reliable because it's almost not an Alpha. And that's the 4C. Because none of the drivetrain components are Alpha
I don't
parts.
even think any of us could fit in a 4C.
I've driven a 4C, so you can fit.
I don't know. I'm not that much bigger than you. I don't know. Is your spine permanently like
No, you're built like an ogre.
tree? Got it. Cool. Oh,
I am
Fuck
Groot.
you.
Got it. So the Veloster goes away. That other car comes, and then following that car, I set it up out of nowhere. I was having I was trying to leave my calendar empty to drive my Mercedes a bit and get caught up on some other videos. But then I got the car I can't mention, and then after that car, I get an Aston Martin DB11 Volante, and then after that car, I get a McLaren 720S, and then I bring it back down to reality with the Volkswagen Passat GT.
that'll be good though.
Well, we're going to be bumping into SEMA time here real soon. Are you making plans for that yet? Or
No, I'm not.
that is one thing I'm going to get on immediately.
When is
we're
SEMA
done.
again?
Last week.
29th until it's October 29th through November 2nd.
Okay,
What date
good.
are you guys podcasting? All
Oh yeah,
5
that's
days,
right. They always.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking
I might
hate
be there Friday.
SEMA because they always do it over Halloween,
Yep.
Yeah.
and and
Well,
everybody
who do you-
hates
Who do you love more, these guys or your daughter?
my daughter. I also
you
get the
didn't
Bullet
even think
Mustang
about it.
coming soon too. So
That should be cool, actually.
that's annoying as fuck. I always forget that with SEMA. And every year I'm surprised and annoyed, which I should never be. So fantastic.
I'm just glad because, again, I don't have to spend my birthday at SEMA. Because every few years, I end up having to spend my birthdays at SEMA. And it sucks.
Josh, I know we're running like a little shorter than I planned tonight because I didn't do a rundown and I'm an idiot and I thought we would talk about grid life longer, but
You got my girl life
I
as long as you
suck.
want.
No, you covered it. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you online?
Yeah. At Instagram, at Mr. Steal Your Dog.
That's it.
Yeah,
just
about it.
Just the IG.
Yeah, just the IG.
Not the WhatsApp or the Snapchat or.
No, I don't use Snapchat because I'm an adult, and my Twitter is not very good. Jeff
and then do another shout out about your hunt for cars for SEMA.
Yeah, I need cars for SEMA very bad. So if you have a car and it's going to be in a booth at SEMA, email me, smoke signal me, twatter me, josh@wheelpros.com.
So it has to be a car that is going to be in a booth, or can it be a car you can get into a booth?
It needs to be going in a booth. You're going to be signing
in a booth. Well, outside
a booth. Needs to be in a booth.
In the building or outside?
Just needs to be in a numbered booth.
Okay.
You're going to be signing a SEMA contract. Email me, josh@wheelpros.com.
Got it. Now, Chris, tell everybody about Shout Engine.
As usual, if you want to do a podcast, come over to Shout Engine. We'll host data, give you all the analytics, all that fun stuff. And you can hit me on Twitter @HazeData. And I'm legitimately opening a P.O. box for the podcast.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
I'm going to send you fucked up stuff.
Follow me on Instagram @HooniverseJeff. Follow me on Twitter @JGlucker. Also follow The Real Hooniverse and all that stuff. Go to YouTube. Well, you're already here, so you already fucking know what that is. But tell everybody about our channel. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, but how else would you have heard about this? But go to Hooniverse.com. We are getting ever more close. We're getting closer and closer to revealing new logos, redesigned, reworked website, which will come with actual updated T-shirts and stickers and all that fun shit. I love the new logo.
They're really
Josh,
good.
you've seen it.
They're good.
I'm very happy about it. We're already working on the new site.
So this will all change.
Yeah, that has to change. I mean, technically we could leave the car, but no, we'll go with the logo. You'll see it. I'll show you in a sec. And I'll share it here soon too, actually, before the site's live, since this is visual. This is a visual medium, not just for the people on Shout Engine. And we'll go from there. So thank you for tuning in to episode 263. We will see you next week. Adios.
All right.